Hello people, welcome to my channel. My name is Hilary and today I will be starting the first part of July vlog. So I have started the Book of Night by Holly Black and I'm just showing you this one because Fairy Loot, I think, book is really nicely foiled, so I put some covers on it because it's 30 degrees, I'm sweating a lot and I don't want to ruin that book. Also, I put it on crookedly or wrong-sided. So that's why I'm not showing you mostly the book. I am in chapter 11, that is about 83 pages read, so almost 1/3 done. So on the whole, this is a book about a girl who lives in a world that is quite interesting. A couple of years ago, magical people came out who could do shadow magic, so literally they could get power over their shadows, so they could change it, they could change the shadows of other people, and also they could make them do some things, depends on who has how much power over their shadows. This is Holly Black's first 12 into adult books, and it shows a little bit, so I can say I have previously read the Cruel Prince trilogy. I can't remember what is the correct name of that. I'll drop it somewhere here. And that felt very YA, so fast-paced, mostly simple sentences, not as heavy, goes by really fast. This one, you could feel it. The wording, the sentencing, the structure is a little bit more complex. It doesn't give you the vibe of YA, so she has done well on that side. However, I'm also not very into it, and I can't blame it on reading slump because some of the books I have read lately I have gotten quite into it. For example, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, I read it in one evening, and however, reading this one 2 days at least, and it doesn't go past very fast. But we'll see how that changes in the about halfway through the book, because usually the second half of the book I get more into it because you have gotten past the slow start usually, and then the ending goes quite quickly if I'm enjoying it a lot. However, I also feel that we could get a little bit more description about the world itself and how shadow magic works, but also a little bit maybe complexity into characters, not just the main character. We also have a secondary timeline, so we see snippets to the main character. So main character is a thief who steals magical books usually from the magical people, and she's quite good at it, and we see snippets into her past, how she got those skills and what has happened in her past. However, right now she's trying not to steal anymore because some bad things happened. However, I have an inkling that she gets drawn back into the magical world. It sounds really interesting, but as I said, there is something missing that would make me want to read it really fast. But I'm thinking maybe it's just I could get a little bit more word building and also a little bit more depth into the characters, not just the main character, but there are several ones that are close to her, and we could get more information about that, but we'll see how that goes. And now on to the rest of July's reading. I don't have an actual TBR. I do have written some books that I want to read. I'm gonna count July as catch-up month, so I have a reading challenge, yearly reading challenge that I'm doing with my friends. I have 12 prompts and I think I'm halfway through, so I do want to knock a couple of them down. I think I have 2 that I'm mainly concentrating. One is read a book from an author you have previously loved, so it's quite broad and easy to fulfill mostly. I could maybe, for example, read Crescent City Book 1 or something else. Another one is Summer Heat, so whether it's a smutty book or maybe featuring a beach or desert or something. And for that, I do want to actually read this month Dune. So I have read the graphic novel of Dune. The second part should be coming out in mid-July. and also have watched the movie, so I have a fairly good idea what should be going on. So I think it should be going quite fast and easily this month. So hopefully that is one of the definite things I do want to pick up. Then I have the Books and Lala's Password-a-thon that I am a little bit behind. So I think what I haven't read is from the previous months is big or little kind of words, and for that I have the last year's Illumicrate's Little Thieves, and then there was the one with the word all in the title, and I think for that I picked All the Best Liars or something like that. That is on my Goodreads TBR, so I do want to change between my physical books and books from my Goodreads DVR. So I have read a lot of random books I have found on the internet this year, so I do want to a little bit get back on to my goals of getting my physical DVR a little bit smaller, especially because I'm getting a very low Illumicrate and Broken Binding book each month, and also to get my Goodreads DVR a little bit more manageable. I also have a couple of plans to pre-film videos for October. Different kind of mystery thriller horror books with different themes. So I do want to read a little bit for that also for this month and August and September. So we'll see how maybe I will sprinkle some in. I won't go too much into that in these vlogs, but I'll keep that for the video thingy for October. So I think mostly what I'm going to do is I do have a couple of books written down, but I'll see what I'm fancying and just picking from here or Goodreads TBR and reading, because I don't want to get too much into slump. So I'm slumping usually each summer. It's hot, we are more outside doing things, so we'll see how that goes, but I think that's about it. I'll come back when I hopefully finished or almost finished Book of Night. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long, and I'll tell you what I'm feeling at that point. So I finished Book of Night by Holly Black, and I know it's just not me on this book, but this year I'm feeling a lot of iffy about different kind of books. I don't know what to think about them. They weren't 5 stars. They basically were a lot of average, but I'm also not certain if it was a little bit good average or a little bit bad average, and it's a very similar situation also with this. And I know a lot of people are very, very disappointed by it. I did go look at a couple of reviews, what other people are saying, what are their opinions on it, and what bothered them, and so on. So if we take this book as an adult book, it doesn't feel adult. For the writing side, it didn't, more precisely, didn't remind me quite YA style of sentencing, especially for Holly Black, for the Cruel Prince trilogy. It was a slower paced, the sentencing was a little bit different, at least in my opinion, so it does a little bit, is different than YA. However, I don't think she did enough. I'll put it here on top of the cup. So for the characters, the plot, and everything else. So we have a mystery in there, but in most adult books, the mystery is you don't get all the information, but there are little hints, so you can piece together the whole plot and everything else if you really want it, and people can see it. But here, Charlie was just running around in town, talking to totally random people who we are just thrown in, no backstory, and then mentioning some other people in, I don't know, 50 pages later, and you don't get the feeling like how it is all connected, what is going on, what is the actual plot, because it was all about the Book of Night being disappeared, basically. However, there were so many other books mentioned, and it didn't have a very nice, cohesive plot line in the back of it. The characters were quite bland. For example, we have the relationship with Vincent, the long-term boyfriend, but honestly, the only scenes that we saw, I didn't see the connection between them because Vincent was quite bland in those, and also Charlie wasn't like, oh my god, I love this about him or something else, but also there wasn't the hate or annoyance, and there was basically like, oh, I'm here, okay, I'm leaving, I'm here. We saw no sparks, anything. For the shadow magic, I feel that she wanted us to have some, basically we don't know a lot about shadow magic, although it has been here for hundreds of years, but mostly they say that people didn't know that other people could do it, and they're hushed up, and now people are trying to research it, and she tried to give us some sort of scientific explanation, but also that didn't work out quite well. So I don't know, it tried to do some things but didn't. For example, the descriptions, she described the mundane things, didn't give us this spooky dark vibes. For example, Gallant was exceptionally well described, giving me spooky dark vibes, and this just didn't hold up, although I did like the general idea behind that book. And I think it's a duology, so we did have some sort of cliffhanger at the end, and there should be a new book coming out next year, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it is better, but yeah, I don't know. What have I given other books? 2 stars, 3 stars. Well, I gave Pestilence by Laura de Lassa 2 stars, but that was on the principle of the whole premise. I don't think anybody could bang a dude who very visibly absolutely tortures you. Same with Scream for Us. Each of Us the Desert was badly described. Splintered. I think it goes 2.5 category maybe, because it wasn't average, because it had potential but it didn't go anywhere. So That's fun. I'm sorry if it's not very cohesive. I don't know. I just find lately that I can't just review books anymore. I don't know why. I find them like I like some things but don't know how to voice them out. I have no idea. And for the next book, I have no idea what I am reading. I have a couple of ideas, so here I have written out a couple of things, but I'm also joined Covers with Cassidy Patreon, and they are all reading the Demon King. The Demon King, yes, and it's on my TBR on Goodreads, so maybe I'll pick that one up, maybe something else. I have no idea, we'll see what I'm penciling, but I'll be coming back when I have some sort of decision and probably read some pages. Hi, so I am in this corner right now because my husband is having a D&D night, so I came to the next room, and I'm also refurnishing this room, but I started 2 books. So the first one is The Demon King, and this is a YA story about the boy and the girl. We get both of their point of views, and it should be a 4-book series. I'm, I think, now around halfway in or so, and this is about a world where the girl is a princess and the boy, we don't know exactly who he is or what he is. I think he might have some magical powers. However, he is a thief trying to just get by, quite poor, and he also has some cuffs on his arms that keep growing as he grows, so we don't know a lot about his background, and we'll see where the story goes. There was a long time ago a Demon King, so as far as I have understood, it's a male who had a lot of magical powers, and I think he did a lot of bad things, and the queen at that time managed to take him out. So we have this parallel history repeating itself, although I'm guessing that that story isn't quite as we know it, and also they are the end game. So if we go by the traditional YA rules, hello Minya, it was a very slow start. However, and we got a lot of details from the just day-to-day lives of theirs. However, once the things got going, the 2 characters met, so we got the pace picked up a little bit. Also, they were feeling really cute together, so we'll see how am I liking it. I think again it's a quite average, maybe it gets even a little bit bumped up. For it doesn't have anything bad, except it was quite slow and boring start. The second book I started and finished yesterday was All the Best Liars. So I think I got that book recommendation from maybe anticipated releases from Books and Lala, although I'm not 100% sure. And this Goodreads synopsis said that this is a YA psychological thriller or a mystery, I think, psychological mystery about 3 girls. And by the end of the book, 1 will be alive, 1 will be in jail, and 1 will be dead. However, the premise of this book, yes, it did give us that by the end of the book, although the psychological thriller mystery part didn't deliver a lot. So basically the whole book was, we got the first scene where one of the girls dies in fire, and then technically we are getting like solving the mystery. However, we are not solving the mystery because we don't get any hints about that, and after that one scene we are moving back I think 5 or 6 months and see their relationship. They were best friends a long time ago, and then some of the girls got some money and they got bitchy, snobby, and manipulating each other and so on, and non-friends, and you see how their relationship deteriorates, and we by this, yes, technically kinda we get by the end who killed one of the girls. However, we don't get any hints or anything. We can't literally solve this thing except try to figure out who is the worst girl of them all. So I was a little bit disappointed by the promise of that. It was more about their friendship and trying to figure out who you are, what you want to do with your life, and that. I did like the ending and the twist at the end, but also, yeah. So I wasn't happy. So technically, I read 2 books this month, and both have gotten 2 stars. So things are not going well. But I am enjoying the Demon King, and I think it will get a 3 or a 4 star, or maybe 3.5 or something. We'll see. And I think I'm about to start To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. I'm pretty sure I am remembering that completely wrong. I don't know a lot about that book. I haven't even started it. I'm literally about to start. And also I haven't read the synopsis, but I know it's a sea-themed book about something happening in the sea or a boat or something maybe. But yeah, that's it. So if I have read that a little bit more, I'll come back and fill you in. So it's a couple of days later, and I have finished the Demon King, and I enjoyed it. It's a very nice story. However, I have the problem with the whole plot. So this was a 500-page book, and it's a part of 4-book series. And usually these kinds of books, you get the overarching bigger plot line throughout the books, but each book has their own subplot line, so a mystery they either have to solve or something along those lines. However, this book, I felt that it was missing, that the first book basically is like a prequel or introduction to the story, and I feel like maybe the whole 4 books of the series will be like one big book with the plot line. So we did end in a note where basically I'm guessing things are starting to happen. However, I felt that we didn't have a bigger mystery to solve or some kind of a story to follow. It felt very slow. And we have 2 main characters, the girl and the boy. The girl is a princess, and the boy is, I think, basically a leader of a thief who's not the leader of the thief gang anymore. And he has these weird cuffs on his arm that he can't remove. And basically we get the whole world build up, the political situation, and basically the backstory of it all in the first book. The 2 characters do interact at some point in the middle of the book, and the ending was a little bit faster paced, and I did like the characters together. However, I felt it lacking, so we'll see. Maybe the second book will be better. Usually, even these kinds of storylines, you can read the first book and that's about it, because it has one big overarching storyline. But I felt that I didn't get anything from that book except some backstory. So yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars, I think, and I think I'm gonna go and finish Snow Like Ashes series. This is another YA series that I read the first book somewhere in the spring, I think, this year. And it's a trilogy, and I like that much more. It was faster paced, interesting magic, interesting characters. It's about the world where there are different kingdoms of seasons, and the winter season has been destroyed. There are just a couple of people left alive. If you hear anything background, that's my cats. And they are trying to get, I think, the amulet back together to get their powers back or something like that. And I honestly enjoyed it much more, so I'm going to try and finish that. I am still in the middle of To Kill a Kingdom. and that is kind of Little Mermaid retelling, but it's supposed to be darker and with more darker characters. I am enjoying it. However, I am seeing that, and I already read a couple of reviews also, that the characters are turning more to white, and at first you see them like really morally gray and evil and dark and really nice dark story, but already we are getting situations where they're like, oh, I'm not that dark, so we'll see how that goes. I am still under halfway in, so I'll come back when I have read a little bit more or finished the book. Hi, so I'm here to finish off the vlog. So I did finish To Kill a Kingdom, and it was an okay book. Again, I have a problem this month. What I'm reading are 3 stars, 2 stars, and 4 stars. So very, very average or slightly good, slightly bad books. So with this book, the synopsis gives us a very dark story about the siren. It is kind of a little bit on the side of Little Mermaid retelling, with the sea witch and who is the ruler of them and being a manipulative a-hole, and Siren, her daughter. They don't get very well, and then we have a prince who kills sirens because sirens kill people, and that particular siren kills a princess. And basically the sea witch curses the daughter to have some legs or be a human, and then they work together, but the prince and the siren has their own purpose. So, and at the end they fall in love, and it started off with the siren being very bloodthirsty, but you saw that quite at the beginning that she's not actually that bloodthirsty most of the time or some of the time, and then she falls in love and becomes a good person basically. So I already expected it. That I didn't expect that dark story, especially if I had gotten a little bit into it. The prince also, you can see that he is killing the sirens, however he has a good side also. What was the biggest letdown was the really weird end battle in water, where yes, we have the sea witch, that is basically Ursula, and then we have the siren who can swim again, and then we have the prince floating around. And that just was really, really weird. I think how it was set up and written, and it was really awkward in my opinion and made not a lot of sense. But yeah, so it was a good read. I would probably recommend reading it, especially if you're interested in a little bit different take on Little Mermaid retelling, but otherwise it's not as dark story as they say. But that's about it for this time. I do hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you in the next one.